Alright. Alright, aku nak share something. So, um, this is a process aku buat out. The whole time aku try to develop the new app. Aku document the process, like what exactly the thought process, etc. So apa yang aku jumpa is that for this software senang je. Aku try to push myself untuk produce satu software atau satu app under 1 week macam tu. So the idea is that macam aku just pick up random idea or random pin yang aku ada, and then aku try to come up with some idea. Ni quite interesting lah. Aku ada idea nak buat feature name generator punya apps, where the name yang kita generate tu dah check whether ada .com ke tak ada, etc. macam tu. Sebab lepas tu somehow ni cerita sikit lah. Lepas tu somehow ada orang dekat Twitter cakap macam, oh diorang hiring chief naming officer because of the fact that macam naming is so hard. So I was like, oh shit, just an idea. So the workflow yang aku come up with is something like this. This is naming yang aku come up with lah, which is product value proposition. This documentation essentially trying to understand kita punya value proposition lah. I think this one is clear. I think kita dah buat clear. Cuma what I think issue dengan kita before is that kita try to masukkan everything dalam satu produk, dalam satu PRD, and that PRD macam chunky sangat to a point that macam it's really hard for me to navigate and then try to understand. Sebab otak aku macam petak-petak. Dia macam, oh, what's the point, like what's the problem with solving, etc. semua. So PVP is the first thing yang kita build. After PVP kita build PRD, and then the more aku study pasal PRD, aku start to realize there's two type of PRD, right? Which is number one, there's PRD yang for item yang tak ada, and then kita nak create new one. And satu lagi adalah PRD just untuk feature saja, for example. So aku dividekan dua type of PRD lah, which is FPRD untuk feature, MPRD untuk, aku tak ingat. Master PRD. Master PRD for like a new app ataupun technically the original PRD lah. So PRD aku bahagikan kepada 3 part. Kenapa? Sebab I want to macam setiap part ada different function, different focus. So the first PRD yang this one target core problem, key pinpoint, etc. apa semua. This is the PRD where we use untuk understand the app punya flow, like macam how it looks like. So aku sit down and try to come up macam, okay, this is what we need, this is what ni, apa, this is ni, okay, this is apa yang read-wise ada. So kalau kau nampak kan, aku also terus macam, okay, mission board, aku nak buat mission board macam ni. Challenge, aku nak buat challenge macam ni. This is from story graph, and then starts, aku nak buat macam ni, etc. apa semua. So aku sit down and then try come up with the best abstraction of the app without the app even exist pun. Macam this is just dalam otak aku je. And then what I do is that aku try to imagine it. So aku buat benda ni. This is actually pakai mermaid lah. She's simple je. Asal tak boleh. Never mind, aku tunjuk kat sini punya. So aku buat pakai mermaid, where basically apa yang aku buat is that, okay, landing page, different domain, and then masuk sign in. Daripada sign in, dia akan ke login page. Dekat login punya component akan ada 3 benda ni. So what happen is, during this process, aku also try to synthesize the front end punya part, which is just nak share how coding work on the back end punya side. Is that front end punya part, what we need is that component dengan page. So page is, for example kan, macam ni. So yang ni I think kau tahu lah, Amil lah, brother. This is component, this is page. But fundamentally, kalau aku nak build page, aku akan build page ni lah. Dia punya URL akan ada page macam tu. Tapi kalau dalam ni komponen macam tu. So what happen is, secara tak langsung, aku also plan out the user experience and the UI. Like, okay, this is the user experience. Akan ada login model punya komponen. Dekat dalam tu akan ada 3 link, navigation, this is what happen, and then etc. etc. So this speed up aku punya development process gila, because when aku try to nak boot up the product, I already know all pages and all components yang aku kena buat. So aku just macam prompt je all of it, and then aku boleh terus produce like the whole as app like this. Contoh macam ni kan, like this is like 30 minit punya kerja. Like brother, serious. Yang paling penat kat sini lah actually, penat gila kat sini lah, because I have to sit down and then aku macam kena figure out and then try to figure out the best way untuk produce the information. The second PRD will be our roadmap technically. So this is like macam apa feature yang nice to have, what will be good. The first PRD will be focusing on core functionalities. The second PRD will be more like macam apa yang aku hope, visual design, some of the brands, etc. Wireframe sketches. I think apa yang kau buat tu is this. It's second PRD. It's a little bit too detailed for development to happen. So okay. Before I go there, and also success metrics, aku also letak kat sini. Success metrics, GTM, our product metrics, our business metrics, North Star metrics, and then GTM. Like second priority are more strategic to me, I think. And then third priority will be like our rollout, our roadmap, like practical roadmap, apa yang kita nak buat dengan our user testing goal. So this is a living documentation lah. So apa yang aku buat is that aku publish this online. Nanti aku send kau link sebab dia tak work. Sebab aku nak macam senang nak share dekat kau, since this is Obsidian and which is bodoh lah Obsidian belum macam tu. PDD is product design documentation. Is a name aku come up with sebab technical ada dua tu. Technical ada technical requirement documentation, and then technical ada technical design documentation. So what happen is, the problem yang aku jumpa paling besar is that, okay, so let's say kita dah visualize the app, kita dah tahu exactly how the app looks like, and then how the app feels, interaction dia macam apa semua, what components punya etc apa semua. To build the front end is not going to take a long time. The longest time yang kita nak buat adalah the back end punya side. So let me share kau this part. This is quite interesting. Aku ada send kat kau, Stripe ada bagi tahu pasal benda ni, which is jap aku lupa sebenarnya aku simpan kat ni. Workflow aku rasa aku simpan kat workflow, which is product management workflow. This one, API design ni.
I think it's interesting that API design and
aku sayang kau. So dia basically this says that macam benda-benda macam API architecture, all of this stuff, this is important to engineer, because fundamentally if you can have a 5-year or 10-year punya strategy dekat benda ni, everything yang kau nak build on top of it is not going to be hard. So that's what I'm doing juga tau. So what happen is, if kita break down PRD 2 and PRD 1, we already have some idea like what exactly database ataupun API yang kita nak build from now tau, which then aku boleh focus on building that, and then we can easily like macam let's say in the future kita nak buat new features, kita dah macam actually kita dah ada data point tu, kita dah ada API tu, so it's going to be easy untuk kita upgrade the features lah. So to build that, saya tak keluar. To build that, fundamentally, kalau kau tengok kat sini apa yang aku buat, this is ERD. So if user upload, apa yang akan berlaku, books, user akan upload books, and user akan upload books, and books akan ada book tag, metadata, file attachment dengan bookshelf. This is incomplete lah, because aku guna database.build this. So this is an AI database builder. So brother, hilang. So essentially dia akan buildkan kau punya, tak ada tu, hilang tu aku punya. So this is actually from Superbase, where dia boleh designkan kau the ERD for you. You have to really good at prompting it, and then kau boleh terus deploy this masuk ke kita punya backend, which is Superbase lah. So apa yang aku nampak, something yang kita boleh solve ataupun something yang boleh improve our plan adalah to come up with the user story mapping. So through the user story mapping, let's say kita buat the user story mapping. So through the user story mapping, which is essentially, I think I've read this. Okay, with essentially product features. Okay, this is the features yang kita brainstorm waktu PRD 1. PRD 2, PRD 3 akan determine our epic lah kan, cycle and sprint kita macam mana. PRD 3 as well. PRD 3 pula, yang ketiga, keempat, kelima juga. So essentially yang ni and search by keywords, limit search apa ni semua, aku also nak buat macam organize search email macam ni, and then sekalikan dia dalam satu file. So then aku akan buat database punya understanding untuk cater that user story. So contohnya macam user nak organize email, so dia akan search email, and dia akan search by keywords, dia akan buat ni apa semua. So what happen is, dengan that one user story, aku boleh terus come up with this is what database and we have. So if we have all of the user story, and then aku tambah one by one. Contohnya macam first aku buat user story yang ni, lepas tu dah siap, lepas tu user story kedua pula aku buat, kita dah ada database yang ni, tinggal tambah yang ni je. So aku keep on doing that to a point that kita ada a whole complete database untuk backend, and then eventually aku just kena optimize database tu. Meaning that macam maybe aku akan tukar dia punya entity, tukar yang ni apa semua. But fundamentally the best way for us to approach adalah untuk from user story aku come up with an ERD, and then from that ERD aku boleh build the database one by one, and then add more data, more macam tu. So it's important to kind of have user story lah. Sebab what happen is, kalau kita tengok dekat PRD yang diagram yang this one, dia macam this is everything yang we have, tapi dia tak bagi tahu exactly what we need for this to happen. For example macam sign in. Kalau sign in, user kena ada ni lah. Kalau user kena ada user, kat mana kita attract user, faham tak? So through user story, I think dia boleh macam help me to this is what we need in terms of back end. Faham tak?